Hey there, everyone. We'll get started here momentarily. Want to let a few more people on into the stream, and we will get rolling here in a moment. All right, everyone. Welcome into our special edition of Beyond the Forecast. We're going to go through our winter outlook. I know we have already got into the winter weather, but I want to give you an outlook on what the actual winter season is going to be. Since we're technically still in fall, even though it doesn't feel or look like it, want to show you what is on the way as we get further along in this extended winter stretch or season. Now, we're going to jump into what is expected from La Nina and El Nino. Last year, we had a weak La Nina, which, as we saw, really didn't give us that bad of a weather. We were kind of in between. It was more of a seasonal, if not warmer than normal and less snowy winter than anything overall. But this year, we're going to be back into that weak La Nina, even at times, maybe potentially Enzo neutral, which will likely still give us a mild winter. We'll have bouts of cold like we're seeing right now, and also some milder stretches. It will likely be a wetter winter, which means anything from rain, sleet, snow, freezing rain, all under that same umbrella doesn't necessarily mean snowfall, but we're likely going to see a near to above average snowfall as we head further into the winter. What is La Nina? Well, we explained it last year. We'll give you another look at what La Nina is. Normally, the trade winds, which are down near the equator, they blow from east to west, which pushes the warmer surface waters toward Asia. But in certain years, like this year, it actually gets a bit stronger, allowing for colder water to move up towards the surface in the eastern Pacific. And that has an influence on our jet stream because the jet stream is influenced by those temperatures and also what is happening in the Atlantic and the Pacific. That likely leads to a Pacific and a polar jet combining across the Midwest and the northern plains and allows for those jets, or at least the jet stream, to dip into the Great Lakes and brings a lot more of those storm systems into the Great Lakes, which usually means a wetter than average period. Doesn't necessarily mean it always occurs like this, but typically we're talking about a wetter than normal winter and also those bouts of colder air. Now, when it comes to the outlook for 2025-26, it is looking, or at least trending, at least a little bit on the below average to normal side for our temperatures. We've already been below average for the entire month of December. I know it's only 4 days in, but overall, we're trending towards what likely will be, when you average out the colder and the milder days, a near normal winter when it comes to temperatures. So we'll have these stretches of colder than average temperatures like we're seeing right now. We'll also go through periodic trends and stretches of mild to above average temperatures. And when you average it all out, it is likely going to be right around normal. But you can see in our northern communities, it may lean a little bit below normal with the temperatures. Now, we are likely going to have above average precipitation because the jet stream is active in our region. So it is going to bring more of those storm systems in from the Pacific, move across Canada down into the Great Lakes. And of course, depending on the track of the storm systems and also the temperatures that we have in place, could be either rain, snow, a mixture, or even some wintry weather. Snowfall, at least for right now, we are going with a slightly above average snowfall. We usually average about 39.5 inches, so it's likely going to be near to above normal with that snowfall. We've already gotten about 8, 9, 10 inches of snowfall already, so we're already 25% of the way there, and we really haven't gotten into winter all that much. Temperatures are likely going to trend normal to just slightly below normal. That's why I've given the below a 31% chance and above 29% chance, because we're leaning towards a normal to slightly below normal temperature trend. Doesn't mean we won't have warmer days, doesn't mean we won't have brutally cold days like we are seeing right now. But overall, we are trending a little bit snowier and more so near average with those temperatures. And that's factoring in a lot of different variables, which includes a more active stretch due to La Nina. We'll have waves of milder and colder temperatures, but also dry and wet conditions. Winters lately, though, over the last 10 to 15 years, have been trending warmer, regardless of what happens. La Nina, El Nino, Enso neutral. So that's something we have to factor in to our forecasts. So even though we will be getting these colder bouts of air coming in from Canada and coming in from the Arctic, it leans towards a near normal because you have to factor in just the overall trend that we have had above normal temperatures throughout the winter months. And it's likely going to be a little bit worse of a winter than what we saw out there last year. So expect that things are going to be near normal with temperatures when you average things out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pull up the details of last winter. So the winter 2024-2025 in the mid-Michigan area. And overall, snowfall-wise, if I pull it up right now, so when we talked about snowfall, we saw about 40 inches, which was close to normal for this area. So snowfall-wise, we had near normal snowfall last year. It was likely leaning above normal with those temperatures overall, but this year, I would say it's going to be a bit worse in both categories. So slightly above average with our snowfall, as long as we keep these colder temperatures in place, and likely slightly colder. So I would trend towards not the worst winter we have ever had, but likely leaning a bit colder and a bit snowier. So that's kind of what we're going with for our winter 2025-26 outlook here right now. If you missed anything, we're going to have another look at that at 10:30 on Fox 66. The next thing that I want to do is I want to dive into our current forecast, because it's not all that great, especially for early December. Now, one thing we do have outside right now, the clear skies, colder temperatures, giving us a nice view of the rising full moon. This was in Bay City earlier on, and you can see that large globe in the sky. That is our super moon. It's a little bit bigger and a little bit brighter than it normally is. The full moon, the cold December moon, is full tonight, and it is a super moon, which makes it appear a bit bigger and a bit brighter than what we typically get, because the moon's overall orbit around the Earth is closer at this point in time. Tonight, we will have slightly more cloud cover late than what is occurring right now. So a lot of our coldest readings will likely happen now through midnight. And as we kick up the southwesterly winds and kick in the cloud cover, we'll see those temperatures rising a bit more overnight. But one thing we may actually have happen tonight before midnight and going a little bit after midnight, we're not likely going to break today's record low, but tomorrow's record low was set back in 1991 of 6 degrees. Our current forecasted low tonight is 7. As you can see on satellite and radar, we have that system approaching from the west and the north. It is going to give us a bit more of that cloud cover as we move in through the rest of the overnight. That'll likely keep our northern communities a bit warmer than everyone else. And that'll also increase our snow chances, especially late Friday into early Saturday. We do have a 20% chance of snow both days, but the majority of the snow will happen after sunset on Friday and before sunrise on our Saturday. Better chance of light snow happens on Sunday. We'll likely pick up another inch or so from both of those waves. So in general, throughout the weekend, a lot of us will come in around an inch with both waves, but a couple spots may see upwards of 2 inches of snow. And then we have better snowfall chances Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, as we are going to be stuck in this colder an active pattern. Highs tomorrow, they're going to be better than they were today, still below average and below freezing, but mid to upper 20s expected for the highs on our Friday. We'll be under a mixture of sun and clouds, partly cloudy to partly sunny conditions. As we go into our Friday morning at 8, see those clouds increasing, especially across the north. We'll be in and out of that cloud cover throughout the afternoon. Then during the evening, we'll see the snow increasing. It's after sunset on Friday and before sunrise on Saturday that we have the majority of that snowfall, and a couple flurries will still be occurring throughout the day on Saturday. Then we go Sunday morning with our next snow chance. It may linger into the afternoon. Some models have it holding on a bit longer than our current in-house model, but another dusting to upwards of an inch of snow is possible from our Sunday system. We have a dusting to upwards of an inch of snow Friday night into Saturday morning, and as you can see, we'll add on top of that another inch or so from that Sunday wave of snowfall. So by the end of the weekend, so once we are done with our Friday night snowfall and our Sunday snow, the majority of us will see about an inch or two of new snow on the ground. Some spots maybe a little bit more than that, but in general, it will be with both of those systems in between about an inch or two of new snow. Then we have more snow on Tuesday, additional heavier snowfall Wednesday, so we're not getting out of this snowier pattern anytime soon. What will likely happen middle and end of December, we'll break out of this cold snap. We'll get a little bit closer to seasonal, maybe even above average temperatures into the 40s, and we'll maybe get a little bit of a break from the overall snowfall. If you guys have any questions about our upcoming snow or the winter outlook, I'm happy to answer those. I'll leave the 7-day forecast up for a little bit longer, and if I see any more comments in there, I will be happy to answer those. All right, everyone, I will wrap up this Facebook Live and stream on YouTube. As always, I appreciate you joining me every Thursday. This one was a little bit of a special edition because of our winter outlook that we started the stream off with. Then as we get into more of the short term, we've got snow Friday night, snow Sunday, snow Tuesday, and snow Wednesday, and it's going to stay colder than average for the next 7 days. Check out Sunday night. We will be down to 4 whole degrees. Some spots may be even colder than that, depending on how things eventually progress with that Sunday night outlook. So Monday morning could be very, very cold, with those temperatures staying chilly with only the low 20s expected for our highs. Have a great evening, a great weekend. Go Lions. Desperately need a win tonight. So hopefully the tailgaters out there that were braving the cold are now inside awaiting the start of the game. Go Lions. We will see you guys later tonight on 10-11 and Fox 66 and NBC 25.